Almost everyone has eaten chocolate. Millions of people unwrap a chocolate bar every single day without giving it a second thought. But hidden behind every bite is a journey that crosses continents, passes through giant factories, and transforms something that barely resembles chocolate at all. In fact, if you saw the starting ingredient in its natural form, you might not even recognize it, because every chocolate bar begins its life hanging from a tree, and the journey from tropical rainforest to supermarket shelf is far more fascinating than most people realize. The story begins in some of the world's warmest regions, places where cocoa trees thrive in hot, humid climates. Unlike many crops harvested by massive machines, cocoa harvesting often begins by hand. Workers carefully cut ripe cocoa pods directly from the trees. Each pod is surprisingly large. Some are bright yellow, others are orange or deep red. And inside every pod lies the ingredient that makes chocolate possible: cocoa beans. But there's something most people don't know. Fresh cocoa beans don't smell like chocolate, they don't taste like chocolate, and they certainly don't look like chocolate. At this stage, they're covered in a white, sticky pulp. If you tasted them now, you might never guess what they would eventually become. Which brings us to the first major transformation: fermentation. After harvesting, the beans are removed from the pods and placed into large containers or covered piles. Then something remarkable happens. Natural fermentation begins. For several days, microorganisms break down the surrounding pulp. Heat builds. Chemical reactions take place, and slowly the beans begin developing the flavors that will eventually become chocolate. Without fermentation, chocolate would never taste the way we know it today. Many experts consider this one of the most important stages in the entire process. Once fermentation is complete, the beans are spread out to dry. Under the sun, moisture slowly evaporates. The beans are turned regularly to ensure consistent drying. By the end of this stage, they are stable enough to be transported across the world. And that's exactly what happens next. Millions of cocoa beans begin a global journey, packed into shipments and transported to processing facilities and factories. Some travel thousands of miles before reaching their destination. When the beans finally arrive, another critical stage begins: roasting. Inside large industrial roasters, carefully controlled heat unlocks deeper flavors and aromas. This is often the moment when the familiar smell of chocolate begins to emerge. The roasting process must be precise. Too little heat can leave unwanted flavors behind. Too much heat can damage the final product. Finding the perfect balance is essential. After roasting comes a machine that performs one of the most important jobs in the entire factory: cracking and winnowing. The outer shell of each bean is removed. What's left behind are small pieces called cocoa nibs. And these nibs are where the magic truly begins, because the next machine transforms them into something completely different. The cocoa nibs are ground into a thick, rich paste known as chocolate liquor. Despite its name, there is no alcohol involved. This paste contains both cocoa solids and cocoa butter, and for the first time the product begins looking recognizable. But it's still far from the smooth chocolate people enjoy around the world. The texture remains rough. The flavor is not yet balanced. More refinement is needed. Factories continue processing the chocolate through specialized equipment designed to create consistency and smoothness. Ingredients such as sugar, milk powder, or additional cocoa butter may be added depending on the type of chocolate being produced. Milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate. Each follows its own formula, but all of them rely on precision. Then comes one of the most fascinating stages: conching. If you're fascinated by how everyday products are made, subscribe now. Every week we take you inside factories and production processes most people never get to see. For hours, and sometimes even days, the chocolate is continuously mixed and refined. This process helps develop flavor while creating the silky texture consumers expect. The difference between ordinary chocolate and premium chocolate often comes down to what happens here, and what happens next determines whether the finished product will have that satisfying snap when broken. Tempering. Chocolate is carefully heated and cooled according to precise temperature patterns. This controls how cocoa butter crystals form. Done correctly, the result is glossy, smooth chocolate. Done incorrectly, the product can appear dull, soft, or grainy. Factories monitor this stage extremely closely because even a small mistake can affect the final appearance. Finally, the chocolate reaches the molds. Liquid chocolate flows into carefully shaped forms, bars, squares, pieces. Countless designs move along the production line. The molds travel through cooling tunnels where the chocolate solidifies. And for the first time, the product becomes what consumers recognize instantly: a chocolate bar. But the journey isn't finished yet. Automated inspection systems check quality. Packaging machines wrap bars at incredible speeds. Boxes are prepared, shipments are organized, and millions of chocolate bars begin traveling towards stores around the world. What started as a tropical fruit hanging from a tree has become one of the most popular foods on Earth. The next time you unwrap a chocolate bar, you'll know there's an extraordinary journey behind every bite. A journey involving harvesting, fermentation, drying, roasting, grinding, refining, tempering, molding, and packaging. A process most people never see, yet one they enjoy every day. Chocolate starts as a tropical fruit, but another everyday product begins with something even more surprising. Tiny grains of wheat become billions of servings, consumed around the world every year. In our next video, you discover the shocking way instant noodles are really made. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and don't forget to share now. See you then.